G'day guys, here we are for the preview show on Friday the whatever of
24th of February. So we're a month away from the equinox. Anyway, chipping Norton Stakes Day tomorrow, and probably more importantly, there's 3 Group 1s in Melbourne. There's Blue Diamond, the Oakley Plate and Futurity. And Dicko's very kindly sent through his analysis of the Blue Diamond, so we'll run through that at the end of the card. Randwick tomorrow is going to be compromised by some rain, which I think you're happy to hear, Glenn.
Because yeah, because at the moment it looks particularly first or second pick on the market all day. I think the bookies, if the meeting was to go ahead, they would get slaughtered tomorrow. So hopefully there'll be a bit of a...
Well, it's true rail. It should be a left-hand blinker, but Randwick True hasn't necessarily been like that lately. No. You know, you're more likely to get left-hand blinker on the wider positions. So back in the True, and we'll sort of limited watering, but as I say, rain is going to mess with the meeting, which...
Can I quickly mention before we go, I think yesterday Noble Joe was so well ridden by Kathy O'Hara to win the opening leg of the
Provincial Championship, yeah.
Like, kudos to Racing New South Wales. $80,000 first prize. You're half price, don't worry about the championships, just set your horse to win one of the heats. Yeah. $150,000 race, Mark.
I know.
That's outstanding money.
So Noble Joey can't win a Saturday race in town. That wins
$80,000 yesterday. And it is a Katoomba horse, and I mean, I did my balls on it. Kathy barrier 13, like we
Leaders barrier. Like how often do we see it? Leaders barrier on Wednesday with Hysterical. T Barry straight to the front.
Bang. Leaders barrier out wide. Great ride, Kathy. Completely suited me, but $150,000 races. These lead ups to the championships are worth their weight in gold. Like if I was a small time bush track, Cody Morgan, blokes like that, they should be setting horses for the lead ups. Don't worry about the championships. That's an afterthought.
Yeah. Exactly. Awesome. But yeah, a bit more juice in those than there is perhaps in the card tomorrow, where we kick off with another race where Montauk is in a 2,000 metre race. $3.25 Montauk, $4.60 Hogmanay, $6 Most Exalted, $6.50 Zornkönig, $8 Dark Eyes, $9 King's Officer. And I imagine that Zornkönig takes it up and
Hogmanay behind it?
Hogmanay trails. That looks likely. Dark Eyes will poke up there as well, and the other 3 will sit back.
Yeah, it does look like a race with okay pace.
Yeah. Well, you've got these horses stepping up from a mile, which does add interest. You know, it's like, okay, they're going okay, but they're going from 1,600 to 2,000, which is another world.
It is another world. I think they get to Zornkönig. I think Hogmanay is the first to find the lead of the 200, and it's a little bit last man standing here. And, because of that reason, I'm going to stick with Most Exalted. It's had the trial since. It's coming back from the 2,400. Just disregard the last run. It had the thumps, it had the bumps, it had everything. And nice trial the other day. And I think it's a promising horse. Also like the 51 kilos compared to Montauk 60. Montauk comes down in class but goes up 5.5 kilos. I mean,
well, that's a bit of weight. That just means you'll blow, doesn't it?
That means you'll blow. Yeah, that means you'll blow.
And win.
Oh, can I forgive Most Exalted? You definitely are, Glenn. That's normal for you, isn't it?
It's not about forgiving Most Exalted. It's like just that last start doesn't count, does it? It's just like it's not relevant,
particularly with the back 400 metres. Yeah.
It's a nothing.
No. The thing about Most Exalted is he good enough to win a Saturday race? I know he's got he's got a rider that I don't particularly like, but he's got things in his favour.
James Ennis Jr. He goes good. Even you don't like.
Well, he's in. Have a look at the other riders. He's the worst of the riders.
Yeah, but I think he overperforms. He's a nice rider, and he's good at taking inside runs. So might suck back there on the fence, and they might all move off, and he might just chip underneath them. I don't know. I'm 6 from 1, guys, but I can understand that one will be a good way because I do think it'll blow in the market.
Yeah, 1 on top. I can't see why it won't win again.
Well, he's actually better suited tomorrow because he'll get more tempo from these 1,600.
Does that suit him?
Well, I think he doesn't want to heat the tempo. They won't be going hard.
But doesn't he like to just sit there and trip and then pop out and go bing? And then can you pop out and go bing going up 5.5 kilos? Is there a bit of an anchor?
Well, it's whether Gunn thinks he'll, if Gunn does the same thing on him, which he will do.
No, he'll definitely do that. He's going to sit and look. Nice horse to back in play too.
Yeah, Hogmanay is interesting because he's actually come on Cougat is his uncle. Because I was looking through going, like Hootenanny, Best Western Mare, 2,000 metres, and there was Come On Cougat. And I went, Come On Cougat, that's a blast from the past.
Fucking hell.
Chris
How much
Waller,
work this marked?
Chris.
Looking at the uncles of horses now. I don't even know my uncle.
Yeah, anyway, I think that's probably enough time on that race. I'm with the top one, and I think that you're right, Most Exalted is definite danger, and will start maybe favourite.
Most Exalted?
Yeah.
Okay, wow, that's a good tip.
Equal favourite, I'll say equal favourite.
Okay, I might back at the Sava then. What price is it?
It's $6.
I'll be taking that.
The highway over 1,600 metres is a wide open affair. It's $5.50 Ruthless Agent on the back up from the Goulburn Country Championship. $5.50 Mr Marmalade, $6 Medieval, $6 Dreadlock, $14 down the bottom Halberd, $17 up the top Glitterer, 21 and longer the others. One of either Dreadlock or Mr Marmalade from the leaders barrier will take it up. I thought Lippy and Pearls would be somewhere thereabouts. Kiss in the Dark poked forward the other day. Glitterer might find himself going forward from a wide gate. It'll be honest, but as we've often seen with the highway races, sometimes it doesn't matter how fast they go, they just can't pass each other.
It is like that. It led through it the other day on last Saturday, didn't it? Who was it? Yeah, the little thing I was tipping a little
Bill's
bit.
a goodie.
No, Saturday was last Saturday.
Oh yeah, the 1,200 metre
Sue
race.
Gross horse.
Yeah, sorry, the 1,100 metre horse.
What was it called?
Yeah,
Old mate.
starts with F. Gordo,
Fickle host.
this is your race. Is it
No,
yours?
no,
This is you, this is
no,
you.
it's not.
No, no
it's
good to
not. No good to me. The one I found on top's been scratched, so
Who's it?
no,
Oh,
Dia Del
Well,
Rey or
I'm tipping Medieval guy. I think the big plus in this race is coming back in distance, coming back 200. I think it'll really is what this horse needs. Matthew Dunn, Corey's going alright. I was tipping in from number 4, big deal. I thought that Hugh and that Dubbo Lundlam connection would fourth up.
It does show you how weak Wagga is, doesn't it? Dreadlock starts first up at where did it start? Gilgandra and runs sort of 3 to 1. The next odds on at Wagga, and the next start at Mudgee, it's like 3 to 1 again.
Yeah, yeah. I'm tipping 5 from 4, but I'm not overly inspired. I can't get my teeth into a roughie that race.
Well, what's Medieval 460 or something, Mark?
$6.
$6.
Medieval $6.
Yeah, it's like a terrible form.
Well, that's a decent price.
That race, that Bill's a Goodie race, I've never seen slower horses than that. Like what, shitbags down the bottom, Kiss in the Dark, there she's bobbing away.
I had 8
Medieval-
bucks up. At least it's, it's
What
got
is
Ramwick
that?
next to its name.
Yeah, but it's Ramwick 1800.
Lippy and Pearls has provincial form, I suppose. Is
Well,
that-
where's the winner, Marcus? Can we give it to us?
It's either T-Berry on the leader or Hugh Bowman on the stalker.
Yeah.
And then you say T-Berry on a leader, although he's actually pulled it off a few times recently.
Well, that's right, he did it last week.
I'm always very wary of horses that win at Scone in Class 1 to start favourite. I've got to say that, especially ridden by Rachel Murray, because she's not part of the Pirates of Penzance, so I think sometimes they get a few breaks.
Didn't we have an email from Ralphie saying there's enough money there for the Pirates to take their Jolly Rogers and go home?
The Pirates, they go, Rachel Murray, you walk the plank. You're first off.
She's ridden a lot of winners this season, Rachel. Is that
Yeah,
right?
she's on the swim, that's why.
Um,
And anyone knows what goes on there.
Anything else to say here? Let's talk about Ruthless Agent, who of course was
Good Diamond.
was 7-2 and a Highway 2 starts back and was fair.
Yeah, it was fair.
And then didn't participate last week in the pumpkin pie smash up. Backing up quickly, had the blinkers on last week for the first time. It's got gun.
Well, so far we've spoken about the $4 to 60 favourites. Like honestly,
that's right.
We can get a fucking job on Sky Channel the way we're going.
Well, we still have a duty to discuss them.
Yeah, well, look, I looked at that run of Ruthless Agent and I thought it was a $150,000 race, I suppose, but it was the pumpkin pie smash up. Just a lot of money for these qualifiers.
It sure is. All right, let's
What are
move
you
on.
doing? Just send you $33. $33.
Sweat Embrace for fillies, and Arctic Angel is
Run
carrying K. O'Hara. Had no rider originally.
So it's got K. O'Hara, Melbourne form, named after our horse. Pen job. Beautiful. There you go on. Let's go.
So the market reads $5 exceeds, $5 teaspoon, $7 Arctic Angel, $7 the B Baker debutante Songlike, $8.50 Savatiano, $14 Greater Good, $15 Meliboa, $17 down the bottom Torval. She looks speedy, the Melbourne visitor, and she's drawn one of the wide gates to Sewell forward. I thought Teaspoon would obviously track her, perhaps doesn't have to do quite as much work as it did the other day. Exceeds goes back as she has been ridden lately. Savatiano goes back from her draw. Should have been, with an interesting stable change there, pokes forward and one more hunt. He's not too far away from gate 1. Right. Does anyone want to take this
I'll
one
have a
up?
go. I'm going against my 2 major pearls in 2-year-old races, which is I like to see them have a run, and I don't like Melbourne form. But I got 2 horses on top here. I love the trial of number 11, Songlike. That was absolutely fantastic, that last trial win. I know didn't.
What about
mention
the
it.
horse that? Yeah, what about didn't
Frank
mention it is not worth mentioning.
Yeah, but Songlike was just that much more stylish than it. They're 2 different
thought it
horses.
was a good
So.
start.
And the other one, I actually don't mind the Melbourne form of number 2, Arctic Angel.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Gord, you're confusing our viewers completely here. You know,
You just mentioned pen job, and I've put one in, but I just think there's a little bit of weakness about number 1, Teaspoon, and I don't think there's a lot there. So I'm going for the new horse on the scene and Melbourne.
So
form.
therefore, the obvious tip in this race is number 3, Exceeds, isn't it? Form at the track, form of the going, gets the pace on, sits back, finds gun.
1200.
No problems.
I think she's better at 1000.
How do you know? She's
You
got
know,
3
like-
starts.
I am like throwing that up at this stage. It's just complete speculation.
All right.
It's not really caught my eye. I know it did catch your eye, Glenn, but Exceeds hasn't caught my eyes.
Okay.
But I realised that Teaspoon won a shitty race the other day, but she did it with such determination. Like he used her up big time to actually get across, and then she was completely beaten, and she just got up off the canvas and beat them off. She comes home for her first time. She's had the run back. She's got H. Bowman, who'll just like be right there.
I'll tell you one thing in the favour tomorrow is she's this big and that she's really small. One of the smallest 2-year-olds I've ever seen. If the rain does come, that should be in her favour. But she's an ant, man.
Well,
Michael Freeman trains
huh? Yeah, but she's a filly. It doesn't matter. 2-year-old filly does not matter who trains them.
Okay.
They train themselves.
All right. Okay. Sabiano looks like a finisher.
Yeah, well, she looks a bit of torture actually. I thought Gunn rode her superbly the other day. Like,
Okay.
just tried to throw her across the line.
And then we have bits and pieces like 7 and 8. They're all little bits and pieces.
What
aren't they?
about the trainer change on 9?
Well, it's a fascinating trainer change, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's probably had it for 3 weeks because she trialled a month ago at Newcastle under T. Bartley.
Yeah.
She was hard in the market in a deep betting race.
Yeah, wasn't it?
midweek.
Yeah.
So look, very interesting. And T. Clark to ride.
What
Tongue
price that
tie
was?
on.
Should have been what you're talking about.
$41.
Yeah, I think that's.
I can throw
that's
some
a
on
bit
that.
of a play.
There's a bit of a play. I'm tipping Exceeds. Marcus?
Teaspoon.
Songlike.
Songlike.
Good on you
Yeah,
guys.
because we can't have you
Box
tipping
minority.
Arctic Angel, even if it wins, Gord. Like,
Yeah, I
is that
know.
a
Yeah,
flash?
yeah.
Are we on? I was going red across
Yeah.
like that.
It normally stops doing that red thing, doesn't it?
Oh, it did then.
Just think-
Oh, it's back on again.
well, it's back again.
We've got cancer in our camera.
No, it's all right because if there's no battery, the red light starts flashing on the remote here.
Our number one.
There was a lot of bloody punter show last night. I have to say, it was like, oh yeah, from the punter show.
No, really.
What'd you say?
I said we're from RacingRant. We're rebadged.
And they didn't even know.
No, it's just
They just.
I suppose it is to many people. It's still the punter show. Right, race 4. It's the male version this time, and it's $2.05 Minari.
Hello.
We're on the dreaded gate 1 again.
Hello.
$9.50 Eden Rock, $10 Single Bullet, who doesn't have a rider, $8 I missed Dracaries, $12 Souffrant down the bottom, $16 Coruscate, and 20 is along with the others. Look, Eden Rock has trialled since its last run. I imagine they want to take a sit there, so that it wouldn't surprise me at all to find the favourite actually driving through and leading.
If it does, it's game over. It wins.
Because
Oh,
obviously,
depending on the wet track.
well, yeah, like it's dry underneath. It's just like look, the track may or may not be wet, but what it's going to mean is that people think differently, riders think differently, trainers think differently. It's all about perception.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously the ground is fairly hard, but anyway,
Is it a bit obvious this favourite?
yeah.
Well, it's probably the best 2-year-old going around, isn't it?
Is
Close
it?
to. It's got to be in the top 3.
Well, look, taking aim is your line there, and he tailed up taking aim. Taking aim is, admittedly, as long as I don't know, $15 in the Blue Diamond, and they bet longer. But he's like,
Still a chance.
he's a solid horse. Yeah. He's your solid line taking aim.
And Minari smashed him.
Yeah, he handled him comfortably. Okay. Anything else?
Well, Dracaris, that was all right.
1,000 metres up to 1,200. You know, the runners from that race
really well. I thought it went really well that day, but Brook Magic's come out and really failed. Kennedy, yeah, the jury's out on both of those.
Yeah. Kennedy went all right.
It went all right.
Look, he's coming home, and Brown. Do you want to back Brown or not?
Brown rode it last time. I don't mind if they won it last time.
That was his midweek feature.
We haven't even spoke about Single Bullet, who I know Gary's got a massive opinion of. I suppose no rider makes you not want to talk about it.
Well, look, he had an obvious problem going to 1,200 at home in messy ground on the first weekend of January. Short break since then. He looks the next pick, doesn't he? He's like, it's 2 from 3.
He's going to be scratched.
You think he'll be scratched? Yeah, I thought.
Well, but he's not in anywhere else.
Could he be setting it up for the Canberra or something?
Canberra
like
Oval
that?
Sunday win
Maybe.
in 8 days.
Right. Okay.
I'll be on course.
You'll be there.
I'll be going.
Any
Oh,
mounting
shit,
yard,
I
mate?
might go. Is
Yeah,
it a good day down there?
I'll pick you up and have a few drinks before we get
Oh,
down
no,
there.
I want to get home alive.
I drive all right.
You can't speed anymore, can you? Because of the zone speed cameras
Yeah,
now.
the average.
Yeah.
Now what you do is you speed, then you pull over for 10 minutes and have a sit. I'll get you to have a one, huh?
yeah.
That's what I always said. How funny is that?
All right. So
All right, so the boys are basically the tip of Minari. I'm a bit wary, okay? I'm a bit wary, but I can't tip
have you
it
got
on.
somewhere to go? Dracaris.
Well, Dracaris, but I'm worried about the 1,000 to 1,200. I was worried about the Brown factor. Single Bullet, I'm worried about the fact it's got no rider. And I thought,
Oh, it's going to struggle to run with no rider, isn't it?
talking about struggling to win with no rider, I am the world's champion data stewards report reader. I read them all. Because I just...
All right. So what have you seen?
I hate stewards, but I love them. Well, no, I don't love them. I like the boys, but I hate the anomaly of decisions made that don't make sense. So Rachel Hunt at Sapphire Coast the other day finished, I think it was 5th. So I suppose it didn't affect the punting, but if you backed it and she weighed 1.6 kilos light, if you put your money on it, you couldn't have won your bet.
Yeah.
You couldn't have won your bet. What was her penalty? Mind you, they get $200 a ride.
150.
She got fined $400.
G Pollitt. Look, stewards, be
She
wary.
got fined $400. Because honestly, so if it runs, I mean, I know it probably came down because it doesn't affect. But if you backed that horse, you lost your money. You could never win, and it's a bad precedent.
And it has happened to me.
Of course it has.
Glenn, we'll be blowing up about this forever. And you know what? We're going to call that part 1 because Winks is in part 2. So
That'll be easy to talk about. Yeah.
yeah, we've got 5 races to go. They'll all be in part 2.
So
See you soon.
poor Rachel Hunt.